So it snowed a little bit in Denver yesterday. Most people were pissed about it, right? It's mid-April, we're over it. But I was excited because I got a new camera and I'm gonna go out and try and do time lapses and take pictures of the trees, whatever. So I get up early in the morning, go out, headphones in, and I'm just gonna do my work calls from the car and take pictures. So I go out and it goes off without a hitch. I think I got a lot of good film, come back home, and here I am tonight and I'm trying to build this video. And as I'm going through and editing this, I realize that I have shot after shot of downed trees, like trees across cars, trees across roads, and it didn't even dawn on me when I was out there to actually get out of my car and help anybody. In fact, while I was on my calls, I was thinking to myself, I wish these people that are cleaning up the road would get out of the way so I could get a clean shot, right? So, not super flattering, but it reminds me of a really famous social psychology study. So we're gonna pivot here, and this video won't be about my incredible, filming skills. It'll be about this study. We're taking the kids to burn some calories before dinner.
Allison's always suspiciously drinking something.
Yerba mate.
1973, Darlene Batson completed a seminal study on helping behaviors. They were inspired by the parable of the Good Samaritan. If you don't know the story, it's in the Bible. I think it's the Gospel of Luke. There's a man that's been stripped and beaten on the side of the road. He's a Jewish man. And a Jewish priest walks by and does nothing to help him. And then a Levite walks by and again just overlooks the man and keeps walking. And it's not until a Samaritan, and at the time Samaritans and Jews didn't get along, they were enemies, the Samaritan stopped and took care of the injured man. And the point of the parable is that no matter who you are or what you have to do, you should take care of the injured man. And the question is, looking at that now, what was going on with the priest? What was going on with the Levite? Why didn't they help the injured man? And why did the Samaritan? To evaluate this, Darlene Batson studied students at Princeton University's seminary. They put the students into two categories. One category was asked to give a talk about what you can do after you graduate, right, a job talk. And the other group was asked to give a talk on the Good Samaritan parable. But here's the catch. To give the talk, the subjects had to walk from building A, where they were currently located, over to building B. And between those two buildings, there was a man that was visibly injured, visibly sick, coughing in pain, and they had to get beyond that man to go deliver the talk, right? Now, the subjects don't know, but that man was an actor, a Confederate. Now, some of the subjects were told that they were in a big hurry, that they were late. Others were told, no hurry, but get over there as quick as you can. And some were told, take as much time as you need. You can deliver the talk whenever you want. And what Darlene Batson discovered was shocking. Priming the groups by having them either give a talk about a job search or a talk about the Good Samaritan story had no bearing on their behavior. Instead, what mattered was whether or not they were in a hurry. The group that was in a high hurry, the group that was told that they need to get there immediately, only stopped 10% of the time. And some of these subjects actually walked over the sick or injured actor. The group that had some time was told, go kind of a moderate hurry group. They stopped about 45% of the time. And the group that had all the time in the world stopped 63% of the time. On average, that's like 40% of a stop rate, so it's not great for future priests, but it makes the point that what you value, you will put on hold for your other needs. So what's interesting about that study is not the fact that these future priests are walking over an injured or a sick person. What's interesting to me is the interpretation, and I think Darlene Batson got it wrong. Darlene Batson said, look, this shows you the impact of being in a hurry, and they related back to the Good Samaritan story. A priest back in those times was a very, very, very well-respected, busy person in the town. And so certainly that priest was probably in a big hurry, and that's why he walked past the beaten and injured man. And then the Levite also had lots of responsibilities in the church, and that's probably why he walked past the injured man. And the Samaritan probably had more time on his hands, and so he had the ability to be more thoughtful. And so the kind of takeaway is, hey, we should be more intentional in how we manage our time, be more mindful of it so that we can make better behavioral decisions. But I think that's a miss. I think what this is really showing us is that our values are not that predictive of behavior. So think about, the example I always think of is recycling. Most people value recycling. I value recycling. I think we should all recycle. And if I have the choice, when I have an empty can, I will always throw my empty can in the recycling bin. But if that recycling bin is across the street, or if I have to save that can until I stumble upon a recycling bin, I'm probably not going to do it. Because it's not how I see myself. I think it's important, but it's not part of my identity. What I believe is that our behaviors are dictated by how we really see ourselves. What is our underlying identity? How do we make meaning from our lives? If it's meaningful for me to recycle, I'm much more likely to do it. If I just value it, it's less impactful. So think back to these students in the study that walked over the man. It's not that they don't care about people or want to add value there. It's just that for them and their identity, it's more important to be conscientious, to be punctual, to be diligent, to be polished. Those kinds of things are more of their identity. That's how they see themselves. If, however, one of those students saw himself as a caregiver, if that was his identity, he would be much more likely to stop and take care of the injured or sick man. It's a matter of your underlying identity. That's what dictates behavior. This is pretty much what we do every single day. The kids come home from school, and we just try to find some way to burn calories. We tell ourselves, or I tell myself, we're burning the kids' calories, but I realize that we're burning calories for somebody else also, who was very excited about her new rollerblades.